World War II was the most devastating war in human history. Much of it was fought in Europe, and of course, the United States was involved. As a result of that, at the end of World War II, which ends in 1945, several international organizations were formed. Amongst those international organizations, two are centered in Europe. Here's the three major international organizations formed after World War II. The United Nations, which of course is headquartered in New York City. I spoke a little about the United Nations when I was talking about China. The European Union, or the EU. The European Union is centered in Brussels. That's the primary headquarters. But there are also two other cities that play an important part in the European Union, sort of like co-capitals. That would be Luxembourg City and Strasbourg. The European Union is this. It's a unified group of countries that practices economic cooperation, such as no tariffs, no green cards. They, of course, don't call them green cards there, but you understand what I'm talking about. And open markets to its members while permitting political sovereignty. In other words, it is overwhelmingly an economic organization, although, of course, politics plays a role in it. There are 27 members in the European Union. One of the things that 18 of the members do is they use the same currency. That currency is called the euro. It used to be at one point when you went from France to Germany, you would have to change your francs into German marks. And then when you went from Germany to Austria, you would then have to change your German marks into Austrian shillings. And when you went from Austria into Italy, you would have to change your shillings into lira. In all of those countries I just mentioned, you no longer have to do that. You use the exact same currency, which is the euro. All of the countries don't use it. There are a few countries that have been grandfathered in that do not have to use it. But many of the newer participants in the European Union, which is overwhelmingly East European countries, will at some point have to use the euro. The other organization that's centered in Europe is NATO, which is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO is also headquartered in Brussels. Who knew that Brussels was so important? The capital of Belgium. There are 28 members, and NATO is a military alliance. What happens with almost all military alliances is this. The goal is to keep war from happening. However, if an outside force attacks any of the members, that outside force has attacked them all. And of course, one of the members of NATO is the United States. So if you attack NATO, you are attacking the United States, which has assembled the greatest military force in history. This is a map of the European Union. What I want you to know more than anything else is this. It includes most of the countries of Western and Eastern Europe as I described them. However, there are some countries that are not in it, and the ones I want you to know that are not in it are these. Switzerland, the United Kingdom, Norway, Iceland. Make sure that you know that those countries are not members of the European Union. Most of the rest of the countries of Western Europe are in it. NATO is found within the confines of that red line. But again, notice who is not in it. Switzerland is not in it. The Republic of Ireland is not in it. Sweden and Finland are not in it. But in addition to the countries you see there, there are some other countries that are in it. And those include Canada, the United States, and Turkey. Those countries are in NATO. So be sure that you know the countries that are in NATO but are not in the EU.